Okay, so because your outlines are in your team folders at school, I'm just going to talk you through some important points that are on the outline about climate change that I need you all to know. So, first, we're going to start with some evidence for modern climate change. Number one is that the Earth's average temperature is increasing. So we see that from 1880 to about 1980, there is one slightly dramatic increase, but it stays relatively constant. But what we notice within the last 20 years is that it is dramatically increasing to points that it's never been before. Number two, the patterns and amounts of precipitation are changing. So rain, snow, hail, sleet, freezing rain. We are getting a lot less precipitation in the southeast. For example, southern Florida has experienced a nearly 10% drop in precipitation in spring, summer, and fall, which is resulting in a drought. Number three, ice and snow-covered areas are decreasing. So we see that in 1978, the average extent of the Arctic sea ice was around 14.2, and in 2011, it had decreased to about 12.5 million square kilometers. Number four is that sea level is rising. So we see a constant rise over time of our sea level since 1994 and even since 1870. Also, extreme weather events are occurring more often. So these are earthquakes, extreme temperatures, famine, flood, insect infestation, slides, volcanic eruption, waves and surges, wildfires, and windstorms. So we see a dramatic increase in the last about 40 years. So now we're going to talk about the possible causes of climate change. So there are some natural causes, such as volcanic eruptions, which release carbon dioxide as well as ash into the air, which can block the sun. Also, changes in the Earth's orbit and tilt. The Earth's distance from the sun and angle of tilt vary slightly over time, so this can have something to do with the change in our climate. Also, changes in the sun's intensity, which means changes within the sun, cause it to release more or less light. So cyclic sunspots also cause changes in energy. So this can be another cause of the climate changing on our Earth. Also, the movement of continents. This happens very gradually, of course, but continental drift can change the latitude of land masses, and we know that latitude is something that influences climate. However, there are a bunch of human causes that are contributing to climate change. So the addition of greenhouse gases from the burning of fossil fuels increases the natural greenhouse effect. So here we see that the amount of carbon dioxide in the air has dramatically increased. Same with nitrous oxide, same with methane, and same with radiative forcing. So just a reminder, the greenhouse effect is the process by which heat is trapped in the atmosphere by water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and other gases that form a blanket around Earth. So I think I've shown you all this before, but the natural greenhouse effect, solar radiation goes into the atmosphere, and then the greenhouse gases trap some of the solar radiation, but more heat is able to escape back into space. However, with the human-enhanced greenhouse effect, there are way more greenhouse gases. So when the solar radiation comes in, there is more re-emitted heat, and then less heat is able to escape into space. Therefore, this is warming the Earth. And greenhouse gases are gases in the atmosphere that trap heat. And therefore, global warming is a gradual increase in the temperature of Earth's atmosphere. So as we can see, we are dramatically increasing our global temperature. Also, changes in land use affect how much solar radiation the land reflects and absorbs. And processes such as deforestation, reforestation, and desertification and urbanization can contribute to climate changes. So these are all things that humans are doing. And some areas may sometimes experience colder temperatures. So, changes in weather, so possible effects of an increase in average global temperatures, so these are the consequences. Changes in weather patterns and precipitation. Some areas will become wetter, others will become drier. Also, extreme weather events are more intense and frequent. Changes in the locations of good farmland, increased evaporation may lead to dust bowls, which you all have learned about, and especially in the interior of continents, so away from the oceans. Also, there is a possible increase in ocean temperature, which results in higher sea levels due to the expansion of water, and this can also result in the flooding of low-lying coastal regions, so for example, Florida. Another possible effect is the melting of glaciers and polar ice caps, reducing reflective surfaces. And finally, there's the possibility, which is already happening, of the increase in the acidity of the ocean due to the carbon dioxide dissolved in the water, and this may threaten marine life. So fish, plankton, everything that lives in the sea, they are in danger because of the increased acidity in the ocean.